If you are below the age of 25, you probably remember begging your parents for Instagram. We all did this as adolescents and honestly closer to the age of children. It might have started off with apps like Musical.ly or Pinterest, but then it did turn into apps like Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. It honestly took up a good bit of my sixth grade mind. I wanted to be cool, to be popular, to have all those followers, maybe even end up as a famous YouTuber living in LA. Obviously, that did not happen. However, I was still begging. According to an article written by Ulysses, a consistent finding is that adolescents use social media to develop and maintain friendships. Two-thirds of teens report that they make new friends through social media, and more than 90% use social media to connect with existing offline friends every day. While in an article written by LaJesse, it stated that Instagram can contribute to lowered self esteem, depression, and increased sleep problems. I want to look more into this, talk to some of my peers as an 18-year-old, and see if there truly is an effect on some people. Let's dive into this a little deeper, starting with a survey that I conducted with some of my peers. Instagram has around 2 billion users worldwide, which is about 40% of the world, which is insane if you think about it. Then, if you take that number and divide it up, of those users, 8% are between the ages of 13 and 17, and 30.8 are between the ages of 18 and 24. If you think about it, those 30.8% most likely have used Instagram since they were 13, 14, and 15. In order to get a clear understanding about how Instagram affected people, I decided to conduct a random survey with people from my Instagram and Snapchat stories. People simply could just slide up on the link and answer at their own will. Let's take a look at these questions and how people answered in order to see the true effects of Instagram on my peers. The first question I chose to ask was, what age did you first get Instagram? Approximately 32.1 people said between the ages of 10 and 11, and 18.9 said before the age of 10. Based on this information, I also wanted to know if people believed that they downloaded Instagram at an appropriate age. So I also asked that question. 49.1% of people said no, and 50.9% of people said yes. When asked if their parents played a part in what age they downloaded Instagram, the responses varied between no, not really, I made an Instagram behind their back because I wanted to be like everyone else, and others, such as yes, they made sure it was private and kept track of who followed me. I asked people if Instagram had an effect on them and if it has had an effect on their mental health. 45.3% of people said that it has had a negative effect on them. This is in direct correlation to it affecting their mental health, where 54.7 replied that it has had a negative effect. When asked to go into detail about how Instagram has affected their mental health, people said things like, it's given me unrealistic views on the world and has made me disconnected from reality. Other people said, I would say there are positive effects, like meeting new people, especially when going away to college, and being able to keep up with old friends easily. I feel like Instagram makes it easy to compare yourself to others. People can make their profiles look like anything and really choose what they want people to see. It creates unrealistic expectations. One person even added, I ended up developing an eating disorder because I felt I wasn't skinny enough to be pretty, but I also wanted thick thighs like other girls. I ended up hating how I look face wise too. At the age of 9, I wanted lip filler so bad because I thought my lips were too small. People said things like, Instagram adds pressure to make your life look perfect. It's also really easy to spread misinformation, and other things like cyberbullying from people that I thought were my friends. One of the more positive things that was added was that Instagram is a fun tool to keep in touch, post fun pics, etc. But they also said, I hardly ever open it because it genuinely makes me anxious. I don't even know why I have the app anymore, but gives me an icky feeling seeing all those beautiful people when I don't look like them. I think it's also just not Instagram, it's all forms of social media as well. Based off of this information, it is clear that Instagram does have a negative effect on people. I believe that a lot of times we think that it is an innocent app that can do no harm. However, in reality, whether we notice it or not, the mental health of its users is being affected. In a paper written by Ulysses, they state that although the majority of adolescents report that social media are a positive contribution to their lives, more negative associations with social media have also been documented. These include cyberbullying, depression, social anxiety, and exposure to developmentally inappropriate content. I believe that these issues are very closely linked to seeing skinny models and seemingly perfect lives on the app. Using this app during adolescence can create lifelong issues and contribute to severe mental health disorders. This can be detrimental to having a productive life if they go untreated. Depression and anxiety caused by apps like Instagram have proven to cause many issues for teens, including committing suicide. These issues need to be monitored by many in order to prevent them. It's important to continue research in this topic in order to help those who are affected. There are many things that contribute to these mental health issues, including the fear of being left out, sometimes referred to as FOMO, as well as being introduced to models with perfect bodies. Instagram allows teens to see what everyone is doing at all times, whether they want to or not. This can lead to social anxiety if they see a party that they weren't invited to, or self consciousness if they see a friend posting at the beach when they don't have the funds or the ability to take a vacation. It is difficult to truly study all aspects of this app because adolescents may engage in any number of different activities, may create alternate accounts, or receive notifications from social media applications that are not clearly covered by the broad questions about how often they use or check their social media accounts, according to an analysis from Barry in 2017. I'm now going to interview a few of my peers in order to get a better understanding of some people's personal experiences when it comes to the use of Instagram. Today, I am here with Maddie Grenier. She is a freshman at the University of South Carolina. And so you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what your major is?
So I'm majoring in international business and marketing, and I'm minoring in French. And some things that I like to do in my free time are go to the gym and read my book.
So today I'm just going to be asking Maddie a couple of questions about how Instagram has affected her as someone who has grown up in this digital age. So Maddie, how old were you when you first got Instagram?
I think I was 12. And I was in 8th grade.
Did your parents kind of have an effect on that decision?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me download it.
Yeah.
I only got a phone in 7th grade.
Oh, wow. That's kind of late.
I know.
Do you think it was an appropriate age for you to get
I think
Instagram?
So.
Okay. And then did you ever view any content or receive any messages that were kind of detrimental to your well-being at all when you were on Instagram? Like anything you saw, that kind of thing?
I didn't get any negative comments or anything. If anything, it was an ego boost because all of my friends would comment on my Instagram posts and would be like, "Oh my god, you look so good."
Yes.
But I definitely saw pictures of famous people that were just stunning, and I was like, "Oh, I don't look like that." Yeah. But I was also 12, and they were adults, so obviously I wouldn't look like that.
Yeah, but did you want to look like them?
Of course.
Yeah, so you
For sure.
Did it have any effect on any changes you made to your daily life or anything like that?
I mean, normal teenage girl stuff.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Did you ever see any pictures from parties or other events that you weren't necessarily invited to, but some of your other friends were? Do you think that affected you ever? And did you ever receive a feeling of FOMO from when you were looking at Instagram?
My friends never posted a bunch on Instagram, especially just little gatherings. But I definitely would get FOMO from people from my school hanging out, if they posted actual posts about it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was never any big gatherings that I either wasn't a part of or
big issues. So that wasn't really a cause of anxiety for you. Okay.
I also didn't have Snapchat.
Okay.
I feel like if I had Snapchat, that would be worse.
I agree. I
didn't get Snap till high school.
So the next thing I want to know is, were any of your relationships ever affected by anything that was on your Instagram, whether it was friendships or significant others or anything like that?
Yeah, so in high school, I always had a guy-girlfriend group, and so I was really close to guys and girls, and one of my boyfriends got upset when my other guy friends would be commenting on my Instagram posts, even if it was it had nothing to do with me, and it was just what the post was about.
Yeah.
We got into a few stupid arguments about it.
Do you think that having Instagram is something that you and your boyfriend used often created a more toxic relationship between the two of you? Among other things, I'm sure.
I mean, it's always a wonderful time when you go through your boyfriend's following on Instagram and he's following a bunch of models.
Yeah. That can
be
put
really
a damper on
wonderful.
things. And then seeing those models, did that affect you as well?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That made you,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other than yourself, did you ever notice any of your good friends or classmates or anything be affected by Instagram, like causing anxiety or anything like that?
I think that for most of my friends, it was just like because of Instagram and seeing all these perfect pictures of everyone. Some of them would like stop eating food or like stop treating their body how they should. Some of them were healthy and would like go to the gym.
Yeah.
And start following like gym influencers, which that part's really nice about Instagram.
It's easy to connect. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it happens to most teenage girls.
I agree.
Want to change their body.
I agree.
So.
I think I've seen a lot of my friends have that happen.
Yeah.
Most of the time, especially after looking at the perfect models and everything like that you see on Instagram. Even people who are our age. Like, I'm trying to think. I mean, Alex Earl's a lot older than us, but like her, Emma Chamberlain being absolutely stunning.
Oh my god, Emma Chamberlain was peak during my middle school years.
Yeah, me too. I think she was one of the more real ones, though. I think she definitely showed the side that was more like, this isn't what I actually look like. This is what I look like.
She was more real with her fans.
Yeah, I agree. Now I'm here with Georgia Widmer. She's one of my friends who goes to the University of South Carolina. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself real quick?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, my name is Georgia. I'm a freshman here at USC, and I am a statistics major. And I'm originally from Minnesota, about 45 minutes out of Minneapolis. So.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to be asking you a couple questions about your experience with Instagram and how it's kind of affected you as a whole. So to start off, how old were you when you first got Instagram?
I actually think I was around like 8, 9
wow.
years old. I was pretty young, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yep.
Do you think that was an appropriate age?
Definitely not. No, but I had an older sister who was like 15 at the time, and I was
you wanted to be
that was the thing to do.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Oh my gosh. Wow, that was really young.
Yep.
Okay. So do you think that downloading it at that age, you viewed content or received inappropriate messages that you shouldn't have received? Like, did you post? Okay, let me start off. Did you post when you were that young?
I don't even remember. I feel like I think I did post to like my like 20 followers. Like there were like the Minion memes that were going around, and like I don't know, like I post weird stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure my account was private.
Okay, but like nothing like.
I didn't really post pictures
crazy.
Of, like no, nothing crazy.
Okay, yeah.
But I did. Yeah. Are you still asking about the messages?
Yeah. So were there any messages or like content that you saw when you were that young, or even as you got older, that kind of impacted you from the app?
Definitely both. So like one big thing that I remember is my grandparents' neighbor DM'd me on Instagram, and he was like an adult man that was their neighbor, and I was a kid, so I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, this guy, like my grandparents' neighbor is DMing me. So I talked to him, and then my dad found out, and he got like really mad, and I had to block him, but like I didn't know any better.
No.
And then, like, as you grow up, you realize, like, that wasn't okay. Like, that was weird. And this man was at my grad party because he, like, my grad party was at my grandparents' house.
Oh, my gosh.
So he walked on over, and I was like, oh.
And you're like, I remember you.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh. Like, that's scary. Was it anything creepy, or was it just weird because it was?
It was just, I don't think it ever got to the point of, like, where it was going to be creepy. Or, like, there was creepy, like, words. But, like, it was just
the idea of that and his ability to do that. What about, like, anything you saw when you were that age, like models or that kind of thing, did that impact you at all?
Oh, definitely. Because this was like when I first got on Instagram, it was like the Tumblr era. Oh, and like I didn't have Tumblr, but I would get like the content from that. So I don't know. There were definitely like I just always wanted to be like the older girls.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was really like a body or a face thing yet, but like I just was like, I want to be like
I want to be them. Yeah. So one big thing I've kind of been looking at is the feeling of FOMO when you're looking on Instagram and that kind of thing. Have you ever experienced that kind of thing when you were younger? And how did it affect you if you saw it, or do you know of any of your friends experiencing it or that kind of thing, like with events or parties or anything like that?
Yeah, so like FOMO with like real things that it could be at.
Yeah. That you saw that were on Instagram, like you were sick and you couldn't go, or like
yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I had envy for like the famous girls my age,
Yeah,
or like people that like were doing cool things, like going to Coachella. I can't really think of anything like that my friends
like
were,
personal or anything
no.
like that. Well, do you want to talk about like?
Oh, well, I guess like I would feel like it's not really FOMO, but like I felt like less popular because like more people, like these people had more followers than me, or more likes than me, like girls my age and my grade.
Do you think like, because I know for me when I was younger, like it would be a thing where we would like when we hung out, we were going to take pictures with other people. Like that's what we were doing when we hung out. Was that a thing for you? And like, were you trying to get the likes and like trying to do that kind of thing, or were you always just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna post because I want to post?
No, it was definitely like. Yeah, like definitely like I compared myself to like the like popular girls. Yeah. And it was like I'd go to the little coffee shop and take my Instagram pictures and then be sad when I didn't hit like 50 likes. When I was like 12.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that.
Yeah.
Were you affected by seeing girls that you thought were prettier than you per se, like body or face wise, and did that affect how you went about your life?
Yeah, I definitely think, like, not right away when I first got Instagram, but as I was more into, like, my tween and then teen years, it definitely became a little bit of an issue for me. So I'd say, like, once I started being able to, like, perceive my body, then I, like, would be, like, look at these girls and be like, oh, I don't look like them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably. But I was just a baby. I had baby fat.
when you were younger, especially. Yeah. What you said it was your older sister that had Instagram. Did you like follow her friends and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I followed her and like her best friend, and I would like, I don't know. I remember they would have like their Ask FM links in their bio, and so I would do like deep dives on those. And that was like content I should not have seen.
No,
like very inappropriate questions, and I'm like, what does this mean?
What is that? Yeah, but you're like 10, so you don't know. And my last question would be, were any of your relationships, whether they were friendships or significant others or anything like that, affected by social media in any way?
I would definitely say yes. Like my high school boyfriend, that's like Instagram was like how I would find out a lot of the things he was doing.
Oh.
Like his girlfriends would like post something and I'd be like, I didn't know you were here. Or like they would comment or send like weird things, and like I guess that's like kind of a positive because I wouldn't have known otherwise, but it definitely was like then I start comparing myself to these people and I'm like, why are you like
the constant cycle?
Yeah.
Would you say there was a constant cycle of comparison when you were using Instagram?
Oh, 1000%.
Or using Instagram in general?
Yeah, even like now, like I consider deleting it all the time.
Oh, for sure. Me too. Okay, well, thank you so much for talking with me.
Of course.
It is normal for kids and teens in this day and age to use social media. Today's youth are much more susceptible to the dangers of today's media consumption in comparison to those from 5 and even 10 years ago. Around 75% of teens own their own phones, and it's common for them to use social media as a form of communication. Based on the interviews and surveys I've conducted, I want to summarize the things I have learned. First, I believe that social media needs a strict age limit. With 51% of my peers getting Instagram under the age of 12, I believe if more strict guidelines were set into place with legislation and other actions by social media creators, it could prevent future issues. This includes double factor verification of identification and parental consent in order for teens and kids to get social media accounts. The age currently is 13, which I believe is okay as long as parents are comfortable with their children having the social media apps. Secondly, Instagram does have a more negative than positive effect on teens. Based on what Maddie said about her friends creating bad eating habits because of what they saw on social media, and Georgia said about how her grandparents' neighbor DM'd her when she was around the age of 9, which could have been detrimental if it had not been stopped. Experts' biggest concerns are the bullying, click forming, sexual experimentation, and internet addiction that can occur when children are using the app from such a young age. I think that if parents and all other people, teachers, adults, lawmakers, everyone in between understand the harm that Instagram can cause and use the research that has been done, not only from what I have seen, but also from professionals and statisticians and everyone else who has shown that there is a more negative than positive effect of Instagram. It can help overall benefit the effect that it has on teenagers. It's necessary to benefit the mental health and physical well-being of teens. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have learned so much about how Instagram can truly be a negative effect on teenagers and children's mental health and physical health.